We are live. Welcome, Sharon.
Hello, Michelle.
My pretty princess.
Yes, I do. Pretty in pink.
Well, that's right, pretty in pink, and my sidekick behind me. So silly. Well, if you're interested, I can show you how to use Snap Camera because that's what this is. It's just super fun. I like showing
Oh, for
up.
sure.
Super fun. Super fun.
For sure.
So I'm just so excited to have this conversation with you today. And
Likewise.
so I want to understand. Tell us about you, right? Who you are, what you do for work, I guess. We can talk about that. That probably makes sense, right? What you talk about your business and what puts a skip in your step? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What's your desire fire? Wherever you want to start.
Okay. So I am in a dual role right now. I have a corporate job as well as my own company. My main type of work is being a healthcare consultant. And so I am in the quality accreditation and practice transformation management space. So what I do is that I help physician practices optimize their workflows, help them navigate through this post-pandemic economy, if you will, in terms of a hybrid world of telehealth and face-to-face visits. And so an overall, sort of process improvement, helping them to make sure that they're still seeing their patients, but also help them to be more efficient and effective in what they do best, taking care of their patients, and so that I help them streamline their process. So
nice.
In a more practical and sustaining business. So that's what I do. In my company.
And your desire, your why, what gets you out of bed in the morning? What puts a skip in your step, Sharon?
I have 3 whys. Primarily, it's my family. My family legacy that I'm trying to build. I'm also motivated by leaving a family legacy and by way of wealth and abundance for my family, but more importantly is paying it forward, really helping in networks and resources that I have to be able to help other women. Currently I'm in an all women network resource, and I just enjoy helping them, being able to pay it forward. And in return, I get so much more than I can bargain for, and it does certainly come back to you. So those are my main reasons why. And what puts this pep in my step is just, I am the lifelong learner. I'm someone that really just wants to dig into anything new, constantly reading. I'm an avid reader. I also like to keep my skill set and knowledge up to snuff, and, on occasion, do a little downtime, do a little vacation, have some fun, and, really just enjoy my life overall. And that's really what I do most, and I enjoy that a lot, and particularly when I'm sharing with other people and having my family and having all my network resources that I have. So all together, that's great.
What drives you as far as giving back? And what's a story that you would like to share that is an example of you giving back and how that fills you up?
So in the network that I'm participating in right now is International Association of Women, and my role is a membership ambassador. And I love that role in a way of showing our members, what are their benefits and perks, but what is really the things that I like the most is connecting people. I've facilitated for connections in their industry, for example, whether that's health and wellness, whether it is something by way of branding, or is it anything that could connect them to their resources, because it's so helpful to have that area where you can't do it all. You definitely need someone to help you garner some resources that you need, whether it is, sharing best practices or exchanging ideas, things that you would, might be challenged at times. And it's such an important part to be resourceful, particularly in the way that, for me, for example, I had challenges with the website. And so I reached out to you in order to find out, what can I do to complete my website, my DIY endeavor. It
Yeah,
lasts very long.
right.
So I said, okay, my limit is here. I need to get other resources to be able to help
I need
me
some
complete.
help with this.
Exactly. So, and that's my way of, connecting people and helping people and getting the resources that they need, because you certainly can't do it alone. You definitely need, extra hands, extra experts that know an area that you need help with, or need to help complete a project, or need help to complete the work that you do. So you definitely need that resources outside from your own circle.
I love the nice segue, Sharon. Nice segue into the resourcefulness and exercising that. I mean, how do you personally ask for help? I mean, because some people actually have trouble with that, right? Some people want to do it themselves. They're afraid to ask for help. They don't want to look stupid. Does that happen to you? Or have you gotten over that? And what does resourcefulness mean to you? And how do you deal with asking for help or not, or feeling silly or whatever?
Initially, I had a bit of an issue with that because I'm also an introvert, and initially in some aspects of me,
Oh,
asking help, I sometimes can feel like, oh, maybe I don't have enough knowledge, or maybe it makes me feel kind of small. The perception of feeling like, well, I could do this myself, and, taking it to a point. And really, what I've learned throughout the years is that it's okay to ask for help, because there might be somebody else that has the expertise that you don't necessarily see how to complete it. And so in my case, for example, going back to the website, I
mm-hmm.
took it so much in terms of my technical understanding of the mechanics of things. Even, it was very simple template, but really, like, to capture my vision, I needed a web designer, someone who really would be able to understand what I'm trying to create and what message I was thinking of for my company. So I needed that extra expertise. And so I had to sort of, get out of my shell and say, okay, I now need to reach out to Michelle, and I need to reach out to someone in my network to help
Right,
me be able to complete that work. And
right.
so, as daunting as that may seem, because you feel like, oh, you don't have all the answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to have all the answers. You have someone that can help you, guide you to a resource, who's going to help you see your vision, help you to complete the work. And that's how I started to get out of my shell, like really sort of start to think about, no, I need the resources. I need things that, it's not all about
Mm,
what I can do. It's also other people that can give back to me by way of helping me complete things that I don't know. Help me think, enhance my knowledge, enhance my
mhm.
skill, help me to understand things that I don't really know. So that's how I see it now. Took years, but we're here, and it's a lot better. I feel like the weight is off my shoulder. I'm like, okay, I can now tackle on certain things that maybe I might have put back. I'm like, I'm so afraid, I don't want to do this. I'm going to put this
Mhm.
aside, or I'll let that have dust, and then maybe I'll pick it up later when I have the time. So it really has allowed me to be intentional and seek for those resources to be able to complete the work.
And why is, in your mind, why is resourcefulness so important?
It's important to be able to complete the picture. It's
Mhm.
important to be able to know that you have resources right at your fingertips. It's important to know that you're not alone. It's important to know that there are people that actually can help you move the needle along. So you're not stuck in one place. And it's also important to know that there's vast information out there, but yet you also can find guidance in that resource. It doesn't mean that you have to go at it alone. And that's what's important in ways of a resourcefulness. It helps you guide to your destiny, to your goal, to complete the task that you have.
That is beautiful, Sharon. I love the connection to being being open to ask for help and creating connection so that you're not alone, right? That we don't know everything. And while there's an element of fear to solve this problem or figure it out or spend this money, I know I've been guilty of that myself. I do, I want to spend it. I'm afraid. Am I going to get what I need? So and I think that we were talking earlier this morning about networking, right? And so you're networking as a form of resourcefulness because you're using the people around you to help you to ask for a hand up or give one.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's definitely a pay it forward in that way of, networking and being able to connect with someone that can, again, open the doors for you, show you a different lens, actually, things that you may not have seen. And to your point, you're afraid to like spend something. Is it worth it? Is this going to give me my, return on investment and so on? So all those things. But I think having to have that conversation with your resource and knowing that there are other avenues that you can actually utilize does your cost benefit analysis at times is going to be much less than what you thought it was, having to go at it alone, and the energy expensed and things like that for yourself may be stolen from other things that are important. So these are where resourcefulness comes handy, because it allows you some time to be able to focus on other things while you're working on, the project at hand or the task at hand, because then that maybe that 2 hours or 3 hours that you would be focusing on this work, when somebody else can help you free that 2 to 3 hours and put it to something else. So that's how I see resourcefulness, in the way that it balances you in allowing you opportunity to be able to focus on other things while someone else is helping you.
Nice. What's the toughest problem that you had to solve or use your resourcefulness for?
I would say creating my own company was definitely a challenge, particularly since, I've never ventured on my own in that kind of way, knowing the startup steps, or what to take, what not to take, how to go about those things. And those were challenging to me because, I've had a very small, if any, network at all. I didn't know where to start in terms of, what's the best approach? How is it that I'm going to start this, side hustle of mine and be able to grow that to scale? And so that was my biggest challenge. And I said, well, I suppose we're going to have to start with a networking resource. We're going to have to join. And we're going to have to make this, leap in terms of having to make this expense. And I think for me, I've said it in a year that I've been with this group, my best $100 that I've ever spent in my lifetime. But it's returned back to me 1,000-fold than I can't ever imagine. So with that, I was able to find my business coach. I was able to learn, sort of what are the steps, in creating a solid, company. What are some of the ways that, in terms of leadership, what can we delve into that? And then financial wellness, and then even health and wellness. So I really gained a lot in that way, but that was very much challenging for me, for somebody who doesn't even know where to start and what to do. I had an idea, I had a vision, but it's sort of like mapping that out in its entirety, and that all the resources that I've located and resonated with me helped me to get me to that point. So
and at the beginning, you were alone then, right? I mean, you probably had your family and maybe some friends, but did they have any businesses, or you were just like, I have no idea?
No, they really haven't had any businesses for themselves. So it's sort of me solo, don't know what we're doing here, but we're going to do it afraid, and we're going to take the first step. And so, that was the first coming out, if you will, and just realizing that, in the middle of the pandemic, I know this must sound a little crazy, but it's either now or never. And I said, okay, I'm just going to make this decision. We're going to do it afraid and make that leap. So pandemic or not.
You did it in spite of the fear, right? You did it in spite of the fear.
Yes, absolutely. In spite of the fear.
And during the pandemic. So you launched your business during the pandemic, Sharon.
During a pandemic, yes.
Wow. And so that's awesome. I love the idea of someone recently shared with me that, we're going to have fear, And if our desire is strong enough and we're anchored to it, we can go after what we want. And in spite of the fear, fear is going to show up. So you're a wonderful example of that, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It definitely do it afraid. Thank you.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, because there's so many ways that you could have made it about the pandemic. You could have made it about, I don't have people, I don't have resources, and you didn't let any of that stop you. Your drive and your desire pulled you towards what you wanted. That's awesome.
Thank you. I would attribute all of this to my resourcefulness. Everyone that has, played a part definitely has played a part in completing and reaching my goal in spite of the pandemic. So I'm proud of all of the resources that I've had, including yourself. So
thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Tell me. So now you have fully embraced the idea of resourcefulness and you're living that. So what would you say? I mean, you had the 3 parts to your why. What do you have 3 parts or more to what resourcefulness means to you and how you continue to get the dividends from it? What does that look like? If you give advice to other people, what would that look like?
Sure. So I would say start with expanding your network. I would say join a network as much as possible. Again, it doesn't have to be all women. It can be a combination. You can also look to your industry. So whatever that is, be it healthcare, manufacturing, retail, IT, look to, expand your borders outside from just in your local state or city, go internationally if you can. And so start there, start to build your blocks in terms of how you would seek your resourcefulness. Once you find what I would call your tribe, if you will, then you would be able to map out the steps of, okay, here's my desires. What am I trying to do? What is my goal? So if that goal requires let's say, for example, an accountant, then be able to obtain one. If that goal requires a financial planner, be involved with one. If the other requires a business coach, we all need mentors and coaches. So I would say, get that as well lined up.
Find one, get one, right? Start asking
Absolutely.
questions.
Absolutely. You definitely need someone to guide you and even just to bounce ideas, that is very much helpful. And lastly, have a vision board. I'm a vision board type of person, and
Me too. I'm a vision board junkie.
Yes, yes, and start and incorporate that, because then as you keep looking at your vision board, you start to think about, oh, I'm going to need a web designer who's going to update or update my website. I'm going to need some other tools. Who has this for me? If I need a computer equipment, how can I get this, or what have you? Maybe I need to partner with an IT, small business. I'm a small boutique consult company. So, I network and build relationships for folks that are going to be able to help me as well. So those are the steps that I would take in terms of, reversing back when you're starting with your business. So making sure you have those folks that you need. More importantly, an attorney. That's the other resource as well. I think that you definitely have to have that in your toolkit, aside from the accountant. And then a branding and marketing, that's also important as well. The things that, could continuously promote your message and what have you. So these are all your resources, within your company that you're going to have lined up. So those are the things that I keep. These are like my must-haves. I have those, the accountant, the lawyer, the IT person, and then
all your people, your tribe.
Exactly. And so those are my steps in terms of resourcefulness. So, because those are vital, those are important. Those are things that I have to have, a must-have. Things that I don't necessarily have to have, I still want to put that as, my resource in a way of, if I want to go on vacation, what's the best place to go? Do we look at this particular agency or what have you? So those are sort of, a flux, not necessarily be so stringent about that. But for the most part, if you're creating your own company, those things are definitely things that you have to keep as part of your resources.
Nice, Sharon. And Roger White is saying good morning. So good morning, Roger. Glad to have you here. What do you have any thoughts for those that maybe don't have their own business, but that are still working and they're in the workforce and they're wanting to embrace resourcefulness? Do you have any thoughts there, Sharon, for folks that might be watching this later or watching it now?
Sure, especially in the workforce. So what I've learned throughout my years is that you would like to have an alliance. You definitely want to form in your team, right? And
community of support,
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely. A community of support is essential. And also, include your manager. I mean, your manager is important in the way that, you communicate with them. They're very busy a lot of times. And, with that, you want to be proactive, kind of communicating with them. What are some of your goals? What are some of the things, outside of, before the performance review, have that conversation, have that talk about, what are your goals? What are your things that you would like to see before your annual performance review? Think about, what you would like next year. What are some of the improvements you'd like to do? Get some feedback. Those are really important.
They can't read minds, right?
Absolutely.
So many of us think that they can read our minds and they can't, and that we'll be seen. Our work will be seen. And that's not the case, right, Sharon?
No, not always. And, they're very busy. And again, make the time. Strategic alliance within your workforce is very important as well, particularly if you're looking to, get to a promotion or get to some things. Your manager and also above your manager, if there's an opportunity you're interested in, I would say, kind of talk about not only within yourself, but also talk to them about what opportunities. Is there something that within the company they're interested in? How can you position yourself to be in that role perhaps a year from now or 6 months from now? Find out exactly what it is that they're, your feedback and so on. And also, open communication is always important. Sometimes it may or may not happen depending on your company, but it's always good to be able to let your manager know what kind of goals you're intending, so that, and also feedback. So you can't see yourself. You have to be able to, he or she needs to let you know what are some of the things you can work to improve. So that's important.
You and Sandy are channeling each other. So she's saying building a diverse team, network with others, communicate needs or options. And then she said, feedback is key to growth. And you guys are talking the same language here this morning. Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Feedback is critical. Absolutely. I can't say enough about feedback.
It is. And then she's a shameless plug here for me. Have a coach in your corner like Michelle. That's awesome. Thank you, Sandy. So Sandy is one of my #1 fans.
No, but Michelle is an excellent coach, so I totally get it. I've learned so much nuggets from Michelle. And this is how I met her in IAW, and I've grown since then. So
thank you. I mean, this is so good, because I think that the bottom line here, to wrap this up, is your intention is to give back. That's part of your why, your family. You're building your wealth and your legacy for yourself, but part of that is building, helping others, and in turn receiving help. So creating that network, being resourceful, finding the people, your tribe, surrounding yourself with those that are like-minded and that can help you and that you can help them. And that's really cool. And you're enjoying it in the process, I think.
Yes, I am. Absolutely. I am so enjoying the journey, more so the destination. I can definitely say that now. I think I've heard that before, but I enjoy my journey more so than the destination. And the people that I've met, including you, eyes wide open in
Yeah.
terms of where I've been, and I've totally grown, and I'm so different than I was, 2 years from now. But I'm truly happily,
Yeah.
exploring my own potential.
It's easy to get sucked into the destination and the achievement. And when I arrive, I'll be happy. But if we steal those small moments and look for ways that we can embody our why and our purpose and just the little things, that's, I think, how we wind up enjoying the journey. I don't know. That's my take on it.
I agree, 100%, 100%. It's the little things I always say that matters the most,
I
and
do.
it's
I agree.
true to that.
Yeah, and you never know who you're going to impact if you just share this or do this or help in some way. And so this is awesome. Thank you so much for playing today, Sharon. This is
Thank
good.
you.
This is good stuff
Thank
for
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I am going to close this out, and I'm excited for folks to be able to watch this. And if you're with us, thank you for participating live. Sharon, thank you for participating. You are a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And Michelle, let's stay connected.
That's right. All right. I will send you this so you have it as well. And we will talk soon. You have a fantastic day, my dear.
All right. You as well.